Yo, today we are completely raw dogging this video like a real man, you know? And even though I'm extremely well known for well prepared YouTube scripts and fancy thumbnails and amazing editing and cinematic masterpieces on the YouTube platform, today there's just no time for that. This topic is too important and this thing just annoys me and frustrates me and just in general has been really important for me to understand. So today I'm going to be going over how to actually achieve financial freedom as a marketer, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as an agency, rammer, runner, as a whatever you want to call it, you know? And before we get into it, and again, this is a little bit subjective because this is just how I see it. And so, holy shit. So obviously for us to first get into this topic, we first have to define the word financial freedom. Because financial freedom can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And someone might be triggered by this word when I'm using it in the way I think about it. But at least for me, financial freedom doesn't mean that I need to have $10 million sitting in an index fund giving me 3.5% every single year so I can fucking jerk off in Aruba. You know, that's not really what financial freedom for me means. Financial freedom, at least for myself, is that I am free to not worry about finances, you know, or like that I can do pretty much whatever I want. And of course, there's things that I can't do. I don't fly a private jet everywhere I go. I don't drive an expensive Lamborghini. I don't even have a fucking driving license. I don't live in a $10 million mansion. So maybe I'm not financially free in the common sense. But at least for me, financial freedom means that there's no need to worry about money. I don't stress about it. I know I can make more of it whenever I want to, you know. I can buy a bunch of nice things. I live in a nice house. I don't cook. I don't clean. I have cleaners and chefs and delivery fucking services for that. I can take a bunch of vacations. Can take vacations and travel. I don't look at price tags of anything, you know, or like most things, you know, basic things. And I would consider myself pretty financially free. So, of course, if for you financial freedom means that you have that 10M's sitting in a some kind of an ETF index fund and you're making a bunch of passive income and you're driving Lamborghinis and living in fancy mansions and flying private, maybe you got a little bit clickbaited by this title. So, sucks to suck, I guess. But at least for me, financial freedom means that I don't have to stress about money. You know, I haven't had to stress about money for years. I know that I can always get more of it whenever I want to. And this lets me live a really nice and comfortable life, you know? And again, comfort kills progress and success and all these things, yada, yada, yada. But pretty much what this kind of situation in my life lets me do is I can live my life in seasons, which I think is really important because we naturally as humans, we experience seasons, especially if you live in a cold and dark place like Estonia. We experience seasons and there's different parts of our life, you know? So let's say that this is a year and this is January and this is December. And here we have a bunch of different seasons. We have the winter and spring and summer and winter again and a bunch of shit like this. I might want to live my life differently throughout these years. So maybe I want to really, really grind really hardcore, like Q1, January, February, March. I want to grind. I want to make a bunch of money. I want to like just focus on business and save up. And then the spring and summer starts coming up. So maybe I want to take it a bit easier during this time. I want to take a few nice vacations. I want to travel. I want to meet up with friends. I want to focus on my chess career. I don't have a chess career, but maybe I want to study some chess openings or hang out with my friends or do whatever the fuck. And then again, the winter ends. I want to really, really dial in on work. So I go back into work mode, make a bunch of money, yada, yada, yada. And then again, Christmas starts rolling around. Maybe I want to focus on my fitness and my health. And again, just take it a bit easier, whatever. I have the option to do so. I have the option to just do fuck all for 3 months, or I have the option to grind really hard. I don't really have to worry about it. I know that if ever comes a time where I need to be printing, I want to make a big purchase or I want to just stack up, I can. I think that's financial freedom. at least for me. So what is the secret to this? You know, I know for a lot of people, maybe you're making 5-10 grand a month. Maybe you're not at that stage yet. Maybe you're just starting off with your agency journey. Maybe you're doing something else. You're not there yet. So you might be thinking, okay, how the fuck do I get there? You know? So the answer to this thing is, at least in my eyes, extremely simple. And it's such a no-brainer thing. You know, it's so obvious. It's so fucking obvious. But a lot of people in this day and age, in the year 2025, in the era of instant gratitude and dopamine overstimulation and TikTok doom scrolling and watching porn and Netflix and hot showers, it comes as a surprise to some people, you know? So the number one thing that has given me the ability to be quote unquote financially free and live an extremely good life is first picking one problem to solve, or picking one transformation to achieve, could also be another word of putting it. Doing it or committing to do it for a very long time. And clearly it's not writing. Clearly I haven't picked writing. Commuting, fucking hell. Committing. I don't know, maybe that's how you write it. Committing to do it for a very long time and obsessing about becoming super good at solving this one problem or set of problems. This is the thing. And again, you might think, if you have consumed any business content or any self-help bullshit online, like you're like, yeah, this is obvious, like everyone says it, Tony Robbins says it, whoever the fuck says it, you know, it's true, but what does it actually mean? You know? So especially if you look at the industry of running an agency, okay, you run an agency. If you watch my channel, you probably run an agency, or you've run it at one point, or you're interested in running one. You know, in the agency space, there's this massive problem of people just getting bombarded with a bunch of new information and these shiny objects and all this shit, you know. Okay, what is the best niche to be in right now? Or what's the best offer? Or what's the best mechanism? Should I sell ads? Should I do cold email? What are the best tools to use, or whatever the fuck? You know, should I do e-com? Should I do SaaS? Should I do info? Should I do coaching? Should I do this? Should I do that? There's like a million things you can do. And we are like always doubting and second guessing ourselves if we should do something else, you know, if there's better things to do. So the point when I was stuck in a loop like this for a really long time. Like when I got into entrepreneurship, I think I was 17. Yeah, I was 17. I was in a door-to-door sales career. I was selling door-to-door electricity contracts, and that was what I was doing. And I got this idea of becoming an entrepreneur. You know, it's a pretty entrepreneurial space, the sales space. So I started doing a bunch of stuff. You know, I read this quote somewhere online. I think like Dan Lok said it in a YouTube video. It's like, only 1 out of 14 businesses succeed. So I had this bright idea as a young 17-year-old naive fucking idiot that, hey, I'll just start 14 businesses and one of them is gonna work. You know, so I ended up doing a bunch of shit. I did drop shipping, and I did this like 3 times. I started an SMMA agency. I started a D3 supplement, or like D3 vitamin D2C brand, build a sales team for that. I started a sales agency. I started like a lead gen agency, but it wasn't with cold email. I started cold email agency. I did like web design. And I worked in sales at the same time, bunch of sales, and I did like so many fucking other things. And like affiliate marketing, drop servicing, and I was switching my niches and my offers and my services, and I was solving different problems and all these things like every single time. You know, like every 3 months I would come up with something new. And believe it or not, this went on for a really long time. This went on like at a pretty bad extent until I was 2 years out of the military. So for like 5 years, probably I was doing this shit. Wait. Yeah, 4 or 5 years I was doing this shit, like changing, like whatever I did. all the time, you know. And I had some success with it. I had few successful drop shipping campaigns. I was able to make like 5 to 8K with my SMA agency. I had some months where I was doing 10K a month in sales. We made some deals here. We had like one really good sales agency client that we made money for, you know. We scaled the D3 vitamin brand to like 3K a day, like really fast. Ended up crashing it, of course. And like I had some glimpses of success with each one of the, like almost each one of these things, you know? So it wasn't like all for nothing. And I was able to provide for myself as an entrepreneur for all these 5 years. But where I really had this realization that I'm doing something wrong was after 5 years. My last venture was this D3 vitamin brand. We had built this like cool vitamin brand. We had manufacture our own supplements. And I had built a sales team of 15 sales rep. We were selling it over the phone. We got it to like 3K a day really fast. We were building some enterprise valuation. We had some investors look into it. It was looking really good. But the problem was that we were selling too much. Like I was really good in sales because I had done it for a long time, and we had really amazing salespeople, and we had really good commission structure. Like it was just like engineered for sales, but we didn't really know how to run the back end, like how to make sure that the shipments get there on time, and how to do invoicing, and how to do resubscriptions and LTV and churn and all these things. We didn't really know anything about this stuff. So ended up crashing the agency, or like crashing the brand like really fast, like after a few months. And I ended up sitting in my apartment. I had like an apartment the size of this room. It was really small. And I ended up sitting there, and I had just moved in. So I didn't have any furniture. I had just like a sofa, and I had my laptop, and that was it. And I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor. And I was thinking to myself that, holy shit, like I have been doing this for 5 years. I have been working really, really hard for the past 5 years and doing a bunch of stuff, learning about business, looking at business content, doing all these things. And I'm still poor as hell. I was super poor. I wasn't even poor. I was over 5K in debt, because when we crashed the D3 vitamin brand, we like lost all our money, like our forecasting, like the invoices that we were supposed to pay, yada, yada, yada. We ran out of money, and we still had like a bunch of commissions that we had to pay out. So the pay out the last guys, or last few sales guys, there are like 2 sales guys that we couldn't like pay the commissions for. I ended up taking a personal loan, like under my personal name, from like a debt, or like from a loan company that was giving like loans for crazy interest rates. I took it for myself just so I could pay out the sales guys. So I was like 5K in debt after 5 years of grinding. I was like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? Like, what can't I understand here? And after that point, I made the commitment that, okay, surely my problem is that I'm just doing too much. I'm not actually becoming really good at anything. I wasn't super good at ecom. I wasn't super good at SMMA. I wasn't super good at D3 stuff or like vitamin stuff. I was pretty good at sales, but I still wasn't like extremely fucking good at it. I wasn't really good at anything. And for you to actually make 1% or like more money than 99% of the people, you have to be better than 99% of people are at something. Otherwise, it just doesn't work, you know? So I made the commitment to stick to one thing. I made a commitment to myself, for the next 12 months, I'm only going to do one thing, and that's going to be all I do. And for me, I ended up picking B2B cold email lead generation. But that doesn't really matter. Like I could have picked anything and the results would have been the same. And I ended up picking B2B cold email lead generation. And by making that commitment, I was able to shift my mindset completely. And I had made this commitment that, okay, I will just become the best fucking person that I can become with B2B cold email lead gen. Like I'll just learn all that stuff. I'll learn all the ins and outs. I'll learn how to do cold emails, how to write copy, how to scrape leads, how to sell it, how to educate people on it, how to handle objections. I'll learn all the objections inside and out. I'll get obsessed with the process. And that's going to be the only thing I do. And in like 3 months of making that commitment, I went from 0 to 13.5 thousand euros a month. And in the first 6 months of doing that, I was doing 40,000 euros a month, you know? So it was an absolute skyrocket. And it wasn't because I had picked a better niche or that I had a better offer or I was suddenly had found some secret magical tactic or trick or shortcut. It was because I had made that mental commitment that this is going to be the only thing I do. I was able to actually learn all the details and ins and outs and get hyper obsessed with it. I was able to figure out how to actually deliver a good service, how to make my clients happy, how to handle all the objections, how to sell this, what is the sophistication of the market, what are all the fucking smallest details, and just get really good at this one thing. you know? And also I had a bunch of freed up mental space. Like normally if you look at your brain, if you look at like a brain of an entrepreneur, you have your main business here, you know? Like your main business is taking up like 30% of your brain. And then rest of your brain capacity is being consumed by all these other ideas and shiny objects. So once you get rid of these things, suddenly you're able to get so much fucking dialed in because you can spend all of your brain capacity and energy and waking hours focusing on this one thing. You will automatically just be so much fucking better, you know? And since from that point on, I have made it an extreme priority in my life that no matter what I'm doing, I always get rid of the shit that I like, that I don't want to focus on fully, you know? And over time, of course, I've built a better team and better skills, and I've been able to delegate stuff and automate stuff and outsource stuff and just learn how to do things better. So I have been able to branch out a little bit and divide my brain capacity a bit more. But this has been the number one thing. And like the underlying thing here isn't again that you go all in into one thing, like one agency or one business or one niche. It's that you go all in into one skill. Fucking hell, can't even write that shit. You go all into one skill, you know? Like you look at, for example, you can take whatever skill it is. Let's say we take the skill of cold email lead generation. There is a clear process that you need to follow to get good results for clients. And there are clear, like, of course it's a process, or there's clear steps. There's like figuring out like what's a good niche, formatting the client's offer, scraping leads, building infrastructure, writing copy, inbox management, optimization, all these things. You can look at these 7 things and you can just hyper obsess on how to become really good at these things and what are the problems, what are the bottlenecks, creating better systems, SOP, processes, and just becoming better at the process, you know? And actually, once you have a really good service and once you're really good at, for example, cold email lead generation, making money will never be an issue, you know? There's never gonna be a shortage of money. You know how to get clients. You're really good at it. You have been doing it for years. You know how to get results for clients. You have been doing it for years. You have been doing it for a long time. You know all of the fucking things how to do it. You know how the market moves. You know the connections in the industry. You know the tools, all this shit. And because this one singular skill, you will never have to worry about money. It's like the biggest investment you can make. You know, the reason why people invest into index funds, for example, why people put money into index funds is because they want that index fund to give them income in the future. It's the same thing with skills. If you just invest into becoming really fucking good at this one thing, this one skill is going to give you money. It's not going to be passive maybe, but it's going to be giving you money for the rest of your life. Once you focus on the fundamental marketing principles, for example, if we use the cold email lead generation example, once you focus on fundamentally understanding why these things work, you know, how to actually pick good niches, how to actually create good offers for cold email campaigns, how to actually write copy, understanding what copywriting is, market sophistication, awareness, understanding human psychology, call to actions, yada, 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 understanding A/B testing. These are all fundamental things that are never going to change. They're never going to go away. It doesn't matter what Google updates come or what new technologies or what are competitors doing, because your fundamental skill level is just so fucking high that you can make anything work in that one thing. You know? So the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I see it all the fucking time, you know? I talk to people and they are chasing these trends and these shortcuts. They have been maybe in a similar loop like me for years, trying to do all these sorts of things. They're always second guessing themselves. Now they're maybe running an agency and they think, maybe I should change my agency niche or service or yada, 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 and I would make more money. Like, no, the reason why you're not making money is because you fucking suck at the thing you do. If you were better, people would find out and people would pay you more. You know, if you are not making money, let's say you're not making 20K a month and you want to make 20K a month, is you just are not good enough. And if you're constantly starting over and starting over and starting over in different niches and different offers and different agencies and different business models, you're never gonna get good. Because getting good takes fucking time, takes failure, it takes iteration, it takes studying. And if you always change whatever you're doing every 3 months, you never have the time to get good. So you're always going to be average or worst case scenario below the average. And if you're below the average at that one thing, you're going to make the money the below the average people make. You know, it's fucking funny. People want to make more than 99% of the people in the world without getting actually better than 99% of the people in the world. Like, how do you think that's going to work out? Unless you get super fucking lucky on some crypto coin or win the lottery or just go and gamble like a degenerate and win like a bunch of money, like it's never gonna fucking work. Not in the long run. You might get lucky for a bit. You know, you might go on a hot streak. But if you are not fundamentally better than everyone else, you're not gonna make more money than everyone else. It just doesn't work like that. It's just fucking impossible, you know? So don't chase the shortcuts. Don't chase the top 3 best niches to go into. Don't chase the shiny trends and tools and hacks and tricks and the easy fucking money business models. Just get fucking good. A great example also, Agents Velocity, our consulting company, boom, here's the logo. Our consulting company, we have been running the same fucking thing for over 3 years almost. The same fucking thing. And we are still doing the exact same process. We are still just building sales letters for agencies, building funnels, writing cold email campaigns, scraping leads, improving the sales process, improving service delivery, focusing on operations. We're just doing the 5 same fucking steps for 3 years. We have done it with probably over 1,000 people and 1,000 agencies at this point, and we are still learning new stuff every single day. You know? And you think that you can become really good at something after 3 months. There's no fucking chance. Like the people in AV who built the agencies that do 30, 40, 50, 100, 150, you know? Like these are the people who gets hyper obsessed about their service and they just figure out how to fucking deliver that service really well. So that's at least what has worked really well for me, achieving financial freedom. Just taking one thing, you know, one niche. Okay, looking at all the problems that this one niche has, and it doesn't even fucking matter about the niche. Like the niche is irrelevant. Every single niche has problems. Every single niche needs services. Taking just one problem that is really painful, for example, lead generation or not being able to scale your agency, and just committing into learning this fucking, like how to solve this problem to the best of your ability. And sometimes it's gonna fucking take years doing it well. Sometimes you're not gonna make all the money in the beginning because it's a complex process to learn. But once you fucking learn how to do it, you are never going to be poor again. I know for a fact if my business disappears tomorrow and I was homeless under a bridge, shooting up heroin, you know, like a real G. Okay, sorry, that's not real G stuff. If I was under a bridge homeless with no business, I could go and I could fucking pull up all my case studies for like what we've done with Cold Email Legion or with funnels or VSLs or scaling agencies. I could fucking post them all online and say, hey, does anyone need help? I'll work for you or I'll help you out. Just give me a few grand. And I'm 100% sure that I would be out of the streets in a day. Of course, I would probably do it a little bit differently because also I know how to get clients. But you get the point. You know, just fucking get good. Stop trying to shortcut it. Like there is no way you can shortcut your way self to financial freedom. You can't shortcut yourself way into that shit. If you could, like people would already done it. And like crypto is maybe like the only possibility to do that, or gambling. But again, like that's not 100% like foolproof. Like again, this is one of those things. Like if you make, let's say, 3 million in crypto because you got really lucky. Like, are you really financially free? Yeah, maybe if you invest that money, but if you spend that money, you can't get it back. You can't do it again. So I think true financial freedom stems from the skills that you can acquire, because then you know that you can always do it again. You know, I could, like if I lost the business again, like tomorrow, I could make all the money back and get all the things back or live the exact same life that I'm living right now in a few weeks or in a month. And then if I lost it again, I could do it again. I could do it fucking 10 times over and over again. No problem. But if you have gotten lucky or used some arbitrage shortcut hack, you can't do it again. So you always have to worry about, when will this opportunity run out? Because you're fucking trash. You're garbage. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope it was a good video or something. Of course, go link in description, agenvelocity.io, scale your agency, 10K MRR in 4 months. Work with us. Blah, yabba, dabba, da.